Remember the pattern of whole tones and semitones we need to use to build a major scale? Just for reference, here's how they appear in the C major scale, which just happens to use the white keys. In order to build any major scale, we need that same pattern: tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. So what notes will we end up with if, for example, we want to build a major scale over F sharp and not C? If you're near a keyboard, pause this video and see if you can build a major scale starting on F sharp yourself first. 1, 2, 3, semitone here. 4, 5, 6, 7, semitone here. 8. Notice that when making sure we skipped a key for all our whole tones, we ended up using all 5 black keys, and not only that, we ended up creating a sharp on a white key too. The 7th note in the scale should be called E sharp. We're using sharps here rather than flats, so every letter name shows up in the scale once. Hopefully you ended up with something like this. In order to keep the same pattern of tones and semitones, we need to use the black keys, here written as sharps, so that we're using every letter name once. How many sharps do we have? Yes, 6. We have F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, C sharp, D sharp, and yes, E sharp too, even though it's a white key. We can't have both F natural and F sharp in the same major scale because it's the same letter name twice. So what do you think the key signature for F sharp major will look like? It will look like this. Great! Now let's do the same thing for the key of G flat. First, if you have a keyboard near you, find G flat and build the scale yourself. Feel free to pause the video. I'll still be here when you return. You should end up with something like this. Now, how many flats do we have? You should have 6. G flat, A flat, B flat, C flat. Even though it's a white key, it's still flatted. D flat and E flat. Thus, we'll end up with a key signature that looks like this, containing all 6 of these flats. Now, is there something you noticed about these two scales, F sharp major and G flat major? Yes, they're exactly the same on the keyboard. These two scales are enharmonically equivalent. This means that they are the same pitches but spelled in different ways. You can say the same for 2 notes, like C sharp and D flat. They're enharmonic equivalents because they are the same piano key and same pitch in the ear, just differently spelled. Composers will write in either F sharp or G flat depending on the context, like if they're already in sharp or flat keys, or depending on the instruments they're writing for. We'll get into why this matters for some instruments when we study transposing instruments later in this grade.